Hey, what's up, guys? This is Church of Caboose, and in today's video, we're covering the brand spanking new dungeon that came out with the unveiling of this new fall Halloween event. How you get to this dungeon? You gotta first go to the moon directory, and you can select it from orbit, and you travel in. Now, you're gonna first come in, and this is the guide, by the way, and you're gonna see these like huge towering like cliffs. Once you've done a little bit of running and jumping, and all you gotta do to beat this encounter is you do something pretty similar to Shattered Throne. You are essentially kind of unlocking your way down into the dungeon. So you just gotta find that first door, see the symbol like you see there above the door, and then you just look for the symbol in the air, and then you go to that symbol, and you have to kill whatever is behind that door. Now, how you kill what's behind that door is you have to get a sword. So you can take a little green glowy platform thing like an escalator. It'll take you straight up. You kill like a poison glowy looking knight thing. You can take his relic, and then you can go back down and kill whatever it was in that room. Now, if multiples of you want to have the sword, you just have to wait for another sword guy to spawn in, which takes about 20 seconds. So you kill a knight, pick up the sword, then you have to wait for another knight, kill that if you want to have two swords, but you don't necessarily have to. Then you go back down and you kill whatever it is behind that door. Now, there's three options of what will be behind the door. 1, a wizard. 2 could be a shrieker, and 3 is a knight. It can be in any order. That's just how I'm listing them. So for the wizard, you have to throw projectiles from your sword in order to damage the wizard. For the knight, you use the slashing, and for the shrieker, you have to block damage back and use the projectiles to hit the shrieker. So you just hold defend, and the shrieker will basically kill itself off of your sword. Once you've killed those 3 enemies, you get a big old beam of light coming onto the sky from a tower like you can kind of see here, and you run to that tower, kill all the enemies that are inside of it, and then that encounter is over. And congratulations, you have earned your way into the wonderful, wonderful dungeon. Thank you so much to the fire team for helping us figure this out, by the way. And I really appreciated their help. It was a lot of fun. Took us about an hour and a half to do. Now we're on the second encounter. Nothing too crazy daisy here. It's basically a maze. In this maze, you're just kind of running around looking for these groups of ads that are in like these little tunnels, and you kill a knight. He gives you a relic, and you take that relic and slam it into a wall. There's a little like glowy pillar thing on the right side of the wall, and that's where you extinguish that relic into. Now, the big trick with this encounter is there's 2 ogres roaming these main giant tunnels, and they will absolutely wreck your butt if you are not careful. So keep in mind where these little tunnels are at. You can hide in them. As you can see here, both my teammates unfortunately were killed, and I had the relic, and so instead of having to find another relic, I just hung on to it and waited inside of a tunnel. You can find these relics by going into these little tunnels. You'll see groups of ads. Just kill the yellow major knight, and then you can get the relic. All you have to do is put that into 3 walls, and you are set. Now, hopefully this guide helps you guys out. I know it's not super duper detailed like with everything, but also that it just came out today, and I wanted to give you guys as much information as quickly as I could to try and make a day 1 clear or something within a couple of days more likely for all of you. Alright, now we are on the 3rd encounter. Nothing super tricky here. The general gist is you have this big old like gated wall you can see there in the back of the room, and you have to extinguish all these relics in order to unlock each seal of that gate. And so you have to extinguish 6 relics. You have this curse of suffering, and so if your curse of suffering is building up past 3, make sure you grab a relic and you extinguish it, because that is how you lose your curse of suffering. If you don't do that, you will eventually die. None of us got high enough to where we could for sure say how many, but one teammate was as high as 9 or 10, and so we would believe, like in past encounters in the content from Destiny, if you get to 10 curse of the suffering or 11, you would then die. We also believe that you probably need to have 1 person standing in this little glowy circle thing below that kind of almost like forge looking type deal in order to keep the event going. If you find something different, please let me know in the comment sections down below. This is just what we believed it to be as we were going through this encounter. So nothing very difficult, just a quick recap. 1 person needs to be in this like below the shrieker thing on that green glowing platform. Then you have to extinguish 6 relics. These relics are dropped by knights. There's 1 at each platform, and they do seem to be kind of time delayed. So when you kill one, it's not like instantly another one appears, but if you're slow enough, who knows? Maybe that's what happens. Also, there's going to be boomers, or knights that are moderately far up on the wall that will be shooting at you in the middle. So if you aren't taking care of those with snipers, I would suggest you do that as fast as you can, and that'll make your life so much easier. And once you've gotten your 6 seals broken, congratulations, you are on to the fourth encounter. Almost done. Alright, this 4th puzzle. It's a really cool jumpy puzzle kind of a deal. Nothing super duper hard, but you gotta avoid those spinny logs of death, as well as those lanterns, and they can light up different crevices you can hop onto. And as you can see there, you have 3 seals you have to break. In order to break those seals, you just have to kind of run around and find 3 wizards. Each wizard's got a very specific name, which we'll see soon here in the gameplay, but they are yellow majors that are covered by ads. Once you have killed those 3 wizards, each wizard unlocks a seal, and boom, you are on to the boss fight. Now, these wizards can be really covered by ads, nothing super crazy, but I was really glad that I had my bubble, and it's just really nice. So that's how you do this encounter. Super duper cool, really cool jump puzzle. You got these rolling logs going all over the place with spikes and lanterns, and it wasn't like insanely difficult, but it wasn't easy. You know what I mean? It's like that nice balance. And so that's how you beat this. Just find some wizards and you're golden. All right, let's start talking about the final boss. Alright, like most things so far in Destiny 2, this final boss combines everything. So you have these knights that are running around in the middle. You kill a knight, you get a relic, and then you use a relic to kill either a wizard, a knight, or a shrieker. And just like before, the wizard, you have to throw your projectile from your relic in order to do damage. For the knight, you just use your slashing and crashing. And then for your shrieker, you have to defend and shoot those projectiles back at the wizard. There's nothing extra special. You just hold defend, then the projectiles go back at the wizard. It does help to be a little bit closer to the wizard because it kind of focuses everything back into that individual. So as you can see here, that's how you do damage with the wizard. That's kind of an example of them throwing their projectiles at the boss. Now, how does this encounter work? Well, other than you have to, essentially, you kill a knight, you get a relic, then you use that relic to get another relic, and you slam that relic into like one of those pillars, which you can kind of see right in front of me around the boss. And you have to do that 3 times. Once you've done that, this circle around the boss down there low will get real green and glowy, and you use your weapons to do as much DPS as possible. Now, we found what worked really well was Izanami's Divinity and grenade launchers. We did a lot of damage, not very much on our first damage phase, because we kind of figured out what happens, but then we did a ton on our second one. So that's our second one right there. And what we noticed was the boss will do these very solar melee attacks. When those melee attacks happen, if he hits you, 1, it'll hurt a lot, and 2, you will tend to get kind of thrown out of the damage circle. And if you're kind of wondering, well, Church, what if we just take Divinity, someone sits way outside of the circle, and damages them? We thought of that, and we kind of concluded because of having to do DPS by being in the green circle, you wouldn't be able to activate your Divinity proc, because your Divinity Vex bubble thing is activated by doing damage over time. So if you're not able to do damage because it's immune, realistically, you would not be able to use your Divinity unless you two are also in the circle. The ways we found to stop his whole stomp thing was a bubble shield worked beautifully, and you probably need to have a Helm of Satan 14 on, because what would happen is he would stomp, but if you're in the bubble, you would have like that brief overshield, and you really want to take that much damage, and you just hop right back into it, and you were good. So having a bubble worked much better for us than Oh Well. Oh Well was very helpful, obviously, because you have the increased reload, you still have increased damage, and you do have health, but the bubble just seemed to work best, especially because of his fiery melee attacks. And once you have done a damage phase, you're out of time, because the floor will get all solary. He's going to look kind of like almost like he's praying to Zol or something. And if you don't get out of that middle, you would assume that you die, but it at least hurts a lot. None of us managed to die from it. We just kind of figured, hey, it's going to be really bad, and then one guy got almost killed by it. So we would assume it'd be really bad and you almost get killed. So not a very tough boss fight. It does take a couple of rounds, which for us was refreshing. So again, you spawn in, you kill the knights, you take that relic to kill a wizard, a knight, or Shrieker. Once you've killed all 3 of those, after each one's dead, you grab its relic, slam it into one of those little portals like you did with the Hive encounter. And here you can see how you defend to a Shrieker. And then you can do damage once you have banked those 3 relics or extinguish them. Alright guys, I really hope this guide helped you out a lot. I really want to give you guys the best shot at getting this. The emblem was so cool. The rewards from this were amazing. We all had pinnacle reward once you beat the boss, and each one of us, the gear was masterworked and it had 10 energy on it, and you also get this really cool emblem. Alright guys, I am Church of Caboose. Have a great week and happy grinding, y'all.